What is going on with Gravity Falls right now? They drop one new book and suddenly the whole fandom implodes. And now I'm getting dragged into it, so I guess we gotta talk about it. So, basics first. Gravity Falls is, of course, a Disney Channel animated series from the 2010s. It's about two twins named Dipper and Mabel Pines who spend their summer break with their shady great uncle Stan in the mysterious town of Gravity Falls, Oregon, where weird supernatural stuff happens all the time. We all know this. And eventually, the whole show revolves around this group fighting off an evil interdimensional demon of chaos named Bill Cipher. And he is the reason we are talking about all this today. See, spoiler alert, Gravity Falls ends with this little glowing triangle guy being tricked into entering Grunkle Stan's mind, only for Stan's mind to be erased, taking Bill with it. But as Dipper and Mabel worked to help Grunkle Stan regain his memories, there was always this lingering question of whether or not that could give Bill Cipher a way to come back too. He even says in his final moments that he might return.
AXOLOTL! My time has come to burn! I invoke the ancient power that I may return!
And I talked about all of that at the very end of my Gravity Falls recap video years ago.
Wait, if Bill Cipher was in Grunkle Stan's mind before it was erased, and Stan got all his memories back, wouldn't that mean Bill Cipher could come back too? Who knows? Show's been over for 4 years, so it probably doesn't matter.
Anyway, reality's an illusion, the universe is a hologram, bye gold, bye!
So imagine my surprise when one day last week, my TikTok started absolutely blowing up because a video was going viral using that exact audio. At the time of writing this, that video has over 1 million likes, not views, likes. I had no idea what was going on, but in the video, there was this mysterious looking countdown with Bill Cipher sitting above it. All right, fine. What's happening? What did I miss? Introducing The Book of Bill, the latest piece of official canon Gravity Falls media written by series creator Alex Hirsch. This book is kind of a spiritual sequel to Journal 3, the first big canon Gravity Falls book. But this time, it's all written from the point of view of the Triangle himself. So of course, I had to pick up a copy and give it a read. First impression? This slipcover feels awful. I'm serious. This paper slip over the cover has this really rough, coarse feeling that I just despise. It's like sandpaper or something. It's like some kind of sensory thing. I just can't stand touching things that feel like this. So we are throwing that away. But once I actually started reading it, okay, yeah, I can understand why people started blowing up my TikTok over this. Yeah, that clip from earlier where I say, if Stan got his memories back, could Bill Cipher then come back too? This book really likes to play with that exact idea, while also not giving any definitive answers about it. Cute. For real though, this book is a riot. The setup is that this is some kind of mysterious supernatural book created by Bill as a way of finding and tricking another human, i.e. you, into being his new partner. But it's also a deep dive into what Bill claims to be his backstory. Because it's Bill, I'd take all this with a grain of salt, but apparently he was born in the second dimension, but had the innate ability to see the third dimension, or like sense it, or something like that. Something no one else in his dimension could do, so he killed everyone. He then hopped to a new dimension called the Nightmare Realm, formed a crew of henchmen, and just caused chaos. That is, until the inherent lack of stable physics in the Nightmare Realm meant that they were inevitably going to be swallowed up by the edge of reality and blinked out of existence. Fun! Good times, good times. Which of course led to Bill then attempting to enter our reality. And a lot of the book is dedicated to like building up Bill's paper trail throughout history, depicting many attempted and failed plans to find a human partner who would help him build his big portal machine to bring the Nightmare Realm to Earth, and we saw all that in Gravity Falls. We also got several new entries from the journals, written by Stanford Pines, all diving deeper into his relationship with Bill and the inevitable fallout. This book is interesting, it's creative, and it is genuinely hilarious. This page, the How Will You Die section, is legit the hardest I have ever laughed at, like, the written word. It's really good. But all that is like, you know, what you might expect from a Gravity Falls book. What you might not expect is that the Book of Bill isn't really for kids. I mean, it's not horrifically inappropriate or anything, but it's clear they're aiming this book more for those OG Gravity Falls fans. The ones who are in their like mid to late 20s now that the show's been around for over a decade. I mean, just look at some of this imagery. This is freaky stuff. Way scarier than anything in Gravity Falls up to this point. Plus, there's actually some legit language going on here. Nothing crazy, but you know, we got some and even a in there. In that How Will You Die section, there is a barely veiled direct reference to the Kennedy assassination. This book has the word polycule in it, which means now this video does too. Live with that. This book is not just some cash grab kid stuff. And don't get me wrong, that is a very good thing. It's nice to see Gravity Falls grow up a bit. Just saying, if you're planning on getting this for your 6-year-old or something, Do it. It'll be funny. But of course, the Gravity Falls fandom didn't just completely implode over a book. I mean, like, they kinda did, but just like the show itself, there's always more going on if you know where to look. Have you guys ever heard of an ARG? He said, knowing full well how much of his YouTube audience comes from game theory. But for those like me who weren't as aware, ARGs are alternate reality games. I think that's what showed up when I googled it. Which basically means they're like weird little scavenger hunts with clues and codes and secrets to unravel. For example, despite my lack of knowledge on the subject, turns out I'm actually part of an ARG right now. Last month, the game theorists launched their lo-fi music project Lorfi, which is half chill lo-fi music playlist and half murder mystery ARG. I made a bunch of songs for it, there's hidden clues in the songs and in the visuals, and over the course of the project, piecing those clues together will lead to a greater story going on behind the music. And that's also what's going on here with the Book of Bill. And you know, this is nothing new for Gravity Falls. These kinds of code cracking, scavenger hunt ARG mysteries have always been part of it. I mean, there were secret codes in the credits of the original series, almost every episode. Not to mention, there was this big ARG scavenger hunt thing when the show ended that involved finding this Bill Cipher statue in the woods in the actual real world. So when I opened this book up and saw this first thing, I knew exactly what we were in for. Now, I'm not a very experienced theorist or code cracker, ironically, so when I was done reading the Book of Bill, I just kind of strolled over to the Gravity Falls subreddit and looked at what they were cooking up. And what they found was a website listed in the book called thisisnotawebsite.com. And when you go to that website, in classic mystery form, you need a password to enter. Now, I don't know exactly how people figured this out, but the password was T.J. Eckelberg, which is one of those like blue curtains-ass literary metaphors from that classic book, The Great Gatsby, which, funnily enough, Bill briefly turns the book into for a few pages near the beginning. I haven't actually read The Great Gatsby. We never had to like do that in school, so I think it's those eyes on the billboard or whatever, but that doesn't matter. Maybe. The important thing here is that plugging TJ Eckelberg into that password box brought up a mysterious countdown clock surrounded by ancient Bill Cipher icons. And when it was found, people started scrambling. What was the countdown for? Is this how they announced that Gravity Falls is coming back? What's going on? This was when my TikTok started blowing up. People were freaking out, believing we were right on the cusp of our favorite cartoon finally returning from the grave. The countdown reached 0, the screen changed to say now, and if you refresh the page, the countdown was back, now ticking down into the negatives. And Seuss is here now. He says, "Oops, the Mystery Shack is currently experiencing some delays, dude. Please bear with us as we figure out which wire goes where." So I guess that technically makes this an error screen with a new countdown that just kind of keeps going. But unsurprisingly, there were still more secrets to be found. You could actually click on Seuss and it would change what he was saying. He'd say things like, "I'm gonna watch you. You're the website now, dude." And hopefully no one expected anything too crazy. Dude just starts going on about random stuff, talks about the Icy Bear, Funko Pops, Otter Pops, and he gives probably the first shout out to Lullaby by Sean Mullins in like 25 years. I mean, I pride myself on knowing obscure pop music references, and even I had to look that one up, but he also gives us a couple links to click on. One for some soothing tunes to listen to while he fixes the website. This one takes us to a Gravity Falls themed lo-fi channel, and hey! That's our thing! And the other one is for some fine literature, which takes you to, no joke, a nearly 200-page PDF of The Great Gatsby. I cannot tell you if this PDF has any special hidden clues in it, because I did not read it. Hey, I already read one book for this video, don't push your luck. But if you were particularly dedicated, aka if you sat spam clicking Seuss for minutes on end, something weird would happen. That's a demon. That's the demon right there. I've seen a few demons in my day. Seuss is briefly possessed by Bill Cipher and drops yet another secret code in a cryptic font. People on the Gravity Falls subreddit found the font and worked out that this message translates to so many questions. Damn it! That doesn't help at all! Or maybe it does, and I'm just too stupid to figure out how. But you know, all of this was weird and interesting and fun to explore, but what it wasn't was an answer to, like, anything. At the time I'm writing this, the countdown has been ticking down into the negatives for well over 10 days, and nothing new has happened. The fandom has found extra little clues here and there, and I'm sure the book is teeming with stuff that hasn't been cracked yet. But as of right now, we're kind of stuck, just, waiting for whenever Seuss gets this website fixed. Now, there have been some interesting things said on social media about all this. Alex Hirsch himself took to Twitter and said, "Sometimes technical difficulties," yeah, he sounds like Grunkle Stan. To me, that's just his voice. "Sometimes technical difficulties are actually just technical difficulties. Give Seuss a few days to fix what he's cooking up. He's a good handyman. He'll get the job done." Meanwhile, Jason Ritter, the voice of Dipper Pines, I can't do an impression of him, sorry, has been on an absolute Twitter tirade. He has legit been adding tons and tons of tweets to the exact same one thread since July 30th, all about Gravity Falls and the Book of Bill, sending out more cryptic codes, pretending to be possessed by Bill, all while acting like he totally doesn't know what's happening. He's just in the dark as we are. Yeah, sure. So all of this has left us in the Gravity Falls fandom scrambling to figure out, what the hell is going on. Hey, guess what? The day I recorded the last line that you just heard is the day the website finally got fixed. And with it, a whole new slew of stuff to talk about, leading me to have to rewrite my video script. Hooray! Ugh. So, randomly, after like 11 days of waiting, Seuss got the website under control, and suddenly, thisisnotawebsite.com went from this to this. Spooky. This honestly brings me way back, man. This is your classic point-and-click interactive website. I played around on sites like this all the time when I was a kid. Yeah, you got a copy of the Book of Bill with a dagger stuck in it, a skull with a gold tooth, a candle, and this old computer from McGucket Labs that, of course, has another password box on it. You can click around the page to see some fun stuff, like the book unlocks another journal entry from Stanford, the dagger brings up another document from this old group of Bill Cipher hunters, the gold tooth gets you a get-out-of-death-free card, etc. etc. But then the main event is this computer password box. Unlike the old password screen, there isn't just one code to unlock something this time. You can type in basically whatever you want, and if you're lucky, it might unlock something. Type in Dipper, you get a note from Bill to Dipper. Type in Mabel, stickers pop up on the desk, weirdly slowing down my computer for some reason. Type in Stanley, and you're taken to an eBay results page for brass knuckles. Type in Stanford, and you get some old medical records about Stanford's polydactyly, and so on and so on. Typing in the name of just about any character from Gravity Falls will unlock something here, except for like Candy and Grenda, and, the cops and stuff. But most of them, most of them. But it gets even more fun when you just start plugging in random stuff. Typing in Weirdmageddon brings up a newspaper article that tries to act like no apocalypse ever even happened. But then just typing in Weird unlocks a video on the computer screen, and that's Weird Al. Weird Al Yankovic.
How did I get inside this computer? How do I get out of here? Bill! Bill! Let me out! Bill!
Oh my god, this is insane. There's a few other cameo videos that you can unlock too. Like typing in conspiracy gets you this video of, I want to say Charlie Day. I don't know, people sometimes freaking out over the countdown and what it all means. And on the same note, typing in theory gets you,
Hello, Internet! This time, you're on your own. Good luck.
who the hell was that? Yes, apparently Matt Pat got a cameo as well. I just can't get rid of that guy. I thought he was supposed to be retired, so why does he keep showing up everywhere? Funnily enough, you can also get this clip by just typing in Matt Pat, somewhat implying that Matt Pat is canon in the Gravity Falls universe, which would, by extension, make me canon in the Gravity Falls universe. Like, I've been in that room. Too much, too meta, too close, zoom out, zoom out! But yeah, so the website is an actual website now. So that's pretty cool. And with all the stuff you can find on this website, it's basically like adding several extra chapters to the Book of Bill. Like some of these Easter eggs are basically full-on stories that would have taken up a couple of pages in the book at least. There's just so much content here. But I guess the question then is this it? Is this what everything's been leading up to? Or is there still more to be found? If you ask me, I would be willing to bet that this is kinda where it ends. Like, the fandom might crack more codes and unlock more cool things on the website, but I don't really think there's any big revelations to be dug up here. Which, you know, given the intensity of this whole experiment, was clearly what a lot of people were kind of expecting. People thought this was all leading up to some big announcement. Of course, what a lot of people were spreading around was that this was all leading up to the triumphant return of Gravity Falls with a big new third season that would go on for 1,000,000 years and remain at the exact level of insane quality as the original series, and yeah, I don't think so. I hate to harsh everyone's vibe here, but I just don't think that's what's happening. I mean, looking at the website, there are a few codes with interesting results in that direction. Typing in Season 3 makes a message pop up on the computer screen reading Season 2, then Season 2 unlocks a message reading just Season 1, but then typing in Season 1 makes a message pop up that reads Season -1, Anti-Gravity Falls. That's not a small thing, I guess, but at the moment, it's kind of impossible to tell if that's teasing some big new thing or if it's just Alex Hirsch trolling the fandom. I know. Trust me, I know that I am the Gravity Falls isn't over, live in denial guy. I just don't want people to get their hopes up for some big new thing, then be ultimately disappointed by what we have, which is still really fun and really cool. Because, dropping the bit, I really don't think a third season of Gravity Falls would be a great idea. It would be fun, sure, it's not a bad thing necessarily, because like, are there more stories that could be told with these characters and this villain and all that? Of course, we've seen that already in books like The Lost Legends and, well, this one. But I would just hate for this near perfect 2 seasons of TV to be spoiled or made less special by an unnecessary continuation. And I know there are some rumors going around of Disney people saying talks were happening or whatever. I don't know how true all that is, if at all, but really, I don't think more Gravity Falls is necessary. At least not more seasons. At the absolute most, I think a movie would be cool. You know, one final adventure. Maybe it's the Pines fighting Bill Cipher in the Nightmare Realm or something. But after that, I think Gravity Falls would have done more than enough to have made its mark on the world and be put to bed. And if we just continued to get fun pieces of extended universe content like the Book of Bill or maybe some shorts here and there, I think that'd be plenty. You know, it keeps the spirit alive without sullying what came before. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. And to be honest, I'd love to be proven wrong. I mean, even if I don't think it's necessary, a big Gravity Falls comeback would still be a huge event that would make so many people happy. And you know, that's important. But I just want to save everyone from getting their hopes up too high, only for all this to just be an excessively elaborate episode of Fixin' It with Seuss.
Fixin' it with Seuss.
You know? No, actually, this one might be worth it.